How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another mystery beer. Mystery beer bottle, mind you. Courtesy of Jerome. Thank you very much, brother. Yeah. Kind of have a little bit of label kind of peeking out in this sucker, so I don't know exactly which beer this is, but kind of have a little bit of ideas, but we'll see what's what. Mystery beers, people send them to me, I drink them, I talk about them, yada, yada, yada. And with this one, okay, fair enough. I thought it was going to be a darker beer, and we'll see what's what. Yeah, we kind of talk about the ABV, the kind of beer it is, all that fun stuff. This one kind of looks like a big beer. Could be bourbon barrel aged, could just be a brown ale. I mean, for all intents and purposes. But yeah, she looks like a big beer. Didn't generate a big head, even though I threw it in there kind of rough pour-wise. And she's got a rich kind of a brownish mahogany kind of hue to her. So she definitely has the looks of a brown ale to some big bourbon barrel aged banger. Let's see what the nose has. Oh, man, that's super sticky, like spicy caramel I'm getting on there. I'm getting like a big, like a bourbon barrel, but also like an English barley wine kind of vibe off it. But there's an extra sweetness to it. We could be going like barrel aged quad here for some sort of bit and piece. And each sip, or each smell, I should say, the nose doesn't get as big. Like, you would assume with a big kind of barrel-aged beer, each time you take a pop off the nose, it'd be a little bit more robust, a little bit bigger. It's kind of just hit you with that big kind of soft, spicy caramel, with that bit of spirit character, and that's pretty much it. It's really not going anywhere beyond that. And that's all I can really get on the nose. So, yeah, rich, sweet. I'm kind of up in the air whether it's bourbon or not. I got this original big kind of like phenolic spirit kind of thing going on the original sniff, but not much after that. I still think she is a bourbon barrel aged kind of, let's say, barley wine or quad kind of beer. We'll see what's what. Let's dive in, see what she's got. Cheers. Yeah, there's definitely spirit involved. It's got this whiskey character to it. Doesn't get too far in a rich red fruit character. More just a base kind of spicy whiskey, almost like a Canadian whiskey more than like a bourbon. There's a soft smoky barrel char to it. There's a nice sweetness to it. I don't think it's an English barley wine. I don't. If it is, but there is a nice bittering to it too. So it could just be a bourbon barrel aged version of an American barley wine. But it's lacking this kind of richness to it to kind of edge it over the top as an English barley wine. I'm not really getting those big kind of date figgy notes. I'm more getting like a kind of rich, kind of bready, caramel cakey, chocolate cake with caramel thing going on. So it kind of makes me want to lean more in kind of an American Belgian dark kind of realm. But it's a malty beer. It's a big beer. It's a spirit beer. It's a barrel-aged beer. It has a nice barrel char to it. It has that kind of whiskey thing going on. Like I said, it might be even like a rye whiskey. There's a bit more spiciness to it. And it's a big kind of bold, kind of dense, rich, kind of hefty beer. When I saw that little label kind of peek out the edge of that, when I saw that gold kind of thing popping out there, my initial thought when I tasted it was kind of maybe like one of those barrel-aged offerings from Omega, to be perfectly honest with you, just because of the way that label looks, but I have no idea. So let's cut to the chase. Let's actually just put our wieners on the table and figure out what's what with this beer, because that's what we're trying to do. This is not big, I don't think. 9%, 8.9. I'm going to say 8.9. Let's get specific. 8.9% barrel-aged imperial porter with coffee. I'm going to say it has coffee in it because there's an extra roast character to it. It's not necessarily over-the-top kind of coffee, but there's something to it, a bit more than a roasted malt, a bit more than a barrel. So 8.9%, a kind of imperial porter with coffee that's hit a whiskey barrel. Yeah. See how wrong I could definitely be wrong on this one. Let's just pull that off the top here. Let's see what we got. Brooklyn Brewing. Oh, is this just their chocolate? Chocolate? No, this can't be just a chocolate. I swore up and down this is going to be a bourbon barrel aged. This is going to be a black chocolate stout. I was wrong as fuck on this one. Wrong as fuck, 10%. Yeah. I went in a totally different direction here. I went with a barrel aged thing, and 10%. I thought this was lower in ABV. It's 2016, so it has some time on it. I totally thought this had a whiskey barrel involved. It had this nice spiciness to it. Now that bittering, that spiciness kind of comes, makes sense with it being kind of their big kind of Russian Imperial Stout. But I used to love this beer. This is probably one of my more favorite kind of Brooklyn beers that I've had over the years of actually getting into beer, even though it was more of an age thing. I like it with a little bit of age on it. So to get this kind of like 3 years on it, well, 2 years essentially, because it's winter 2016. So 2.5 years, let's put it that way. But yeah, totally whiffed on that one. I could have sworn the way this kind of alcohol came off in this beer and the way that spiciness came off, I would have sworn this had some kind of barrel involved. But it's just the way that alcohol plays. It's more of kind of like an evaporated ethyl alcohol kind of thing going on. That kind of gave me that spirit character to it. And it did have that kind of barrel charry kind of vibe to it. That must be coming all from those roasted malts and a heaping help of hops. Yeah, this is actually one I threw in. It's probably the worst mystery beer I've ever done as far as getting stuff right. But it kind of turns me on that I was this wrong on this one. So definitely off in my game on this one. Yeah. Kind of makes me kind of happy. People do mystery beers, and I'm sure a lot of people flub them, or not flub them, kind of cheat at them. I'm sure people kind of think I take a peek at things from time to time. I don't, I can assure you. I think there was one mystery beer I kind of caught a glimpse of the edge of something, and I think I actually said it on a review, but I'm like so ingrained with a kind of ethical moral core that like sneaking and peeking at beers would actually drive me insane. It would keep me up at night, so I do not do that. And but I've been on a roll of getting stuff not just decently close, but pretty spot on with a lot of mystery beers as of late. I'm sure a lot of people are kind of thinking that. So it's kind of cool to kind of drink something to be incredibly wrong in all different aspects. I mean, I called it a rich, big Imperial Porter. I mean, if you want to kind of just talk myself into thinking I was kind of close in that one, I could totally do that one. But yeah, I mean, Russian Imperial Stouts are one of my favorite styles. This, while being a fun beer that I had back in the day, I wouldn't necessarily say is one of my favorite Russian Imperial Stouts, but for me, not even to pinpoint the Russian Imperial Stout portion of the show, my mindset went totally to a barrel-aged beer from the get, and I couldn't talk myself out of that. And that's one of the fun things about mystery beers, is because, I mean, you're letting your taste buds do the talking, but at the same time, you do kind of let your brain kind of send you down a path that you might not necessarily go down if you were going to drink a beer and know exactly what it is. And it's probably one of the more kind of fun things when it comes to mystery beers, and the cool part about doing them. So to actually get this beer, go down that path of an Imperial Porter with little, at the end, they toss that coffee in there and try to be cool and be like, yeah, I'm going to be totally right on this one, and be a total whifferooski is super fucking fun. So yeah, let's talk about it. It's one of the better aged Russian Imperial Stouts that I've had as of late. I actually haven't had that many, so it might default into the category, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a fine beer. It's a fun beer. I'll put it in the conversation, but in the grand scheme of things, your Black Alberts of the world, your Kurd Russian Imperial Stouts of the world are the ones that rule the roost for me. This beer is quite nice. It's above your Rasputins of the world, which I'm not a big fan of, even though I don't remember this being as bittering and as charry as it was, but it's a fun beer. Super cool, and a fun mystery beer to boot. Thank you very much, Jerome. I mean, it's Brooklyn, so you can get it pretty much everywhere and leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like Russian Imperial Stouts, you want them to be bitter and you want them to be big. It's not going to get to your dark fruit category that a lot of great Russian Imperial Stouts, again, your Destruces of the world, your Black Alberts of the world tend to get to. But it's fun, it's decent, and like I said, it's probably one of my favorite Brooklyn beers, especially non-adjuncty, non-barreled core 4 kind of beers that are out there. It's definitely a fun one that I used to pick up a 4-pack of every year and kind of age. So it's kind of cool to have this one with not even knowing what it is. Mystery beers fuck the world. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. If you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice Brooklyn jammer right now, and hopefully see you next time. Cheers.